Thank you very much, colleagues, Your Excellency, the President, the Honorable Premier of the province, the Honorable Ministers, Deputy Ministers, MECs, our executive mayors present, the senior officials, DDG present, but let me firstly acknowledge DG Baleni in the Office of the President and all the staff from the Office of the President, DG Changana from Kokta, DG Dipofa, all DGs present, and all senior officials from the Office of the Premier, Office of the MECs, the media that is doing a wonderful work in communicating the good work done by the government. Ladies and gentlemen, indeed, our media deserves a round of applause. Good morning, colleagues. I'm just going to take a few minutes to do the introductory remarks, which will be followed by the Premier, and then followed by the Honorable President in this open session. The gatherings organized by the President serve as a crucial forum for leaders from the national, provincial, and local government to convene and engage in a meaningful dialogue about enhancing service delivery. This meeting is the seventh leg of the engagement by the President and his cabinet with the provincial executive councils, specifically designed to address and unlock the pressing needs of each province. Today's engagement is about listening to the aspirations and dreams of the Northwest Provincial Government and see how the national government can come on board to champion, together with the two spheres of government, to drive the economic growth of Northwest Province. Previous sessions in 6 provinces that has been held across the country have underscored the importance of fostering collaboration and national and provincial leaders creating a united front in tackling communal issues. These discussions not only facilitate the identification of significant challenges that hinder progress, such as infrastructure deficits, healthcare accessibility, and educational opportunities, but also focus on crafting actionable strategies to be implemented timely with effective solutions. At the heart of today's engagement is district development model. This model is a practical instrument designed to give life to the vision of a more functional, responsive, and integrated government. The DDM emphasizes that service delivery cannot be achieved in silos. Honorable President, it is true, this meeting is not about municipalities, but the truth is Municipalities are the closest sphere of government to our people. They are the face of democracy in our communities. Yet, we must admit openly that many of our municipalities, including here in Northwest, continue to struggle with instability, weak financial management, infrastructure backlog, and the delivery of basic services. While this engagement is more between the President and his cabinet and the provincial executive councils, we need to keep in our minds that our municipalities must be functional in order to bring change in our communities that will be more meaningful and create an environment that will attract investment and allow the economic growth in our communities. Your Excellency, it is fitting that we reflect on these matters during the Public Service Month. This month reminds us that government exists to serve with humility, integrity, and accountability, guided always by the Batupile principle of putting people first. This month, public servants are challenged to not only acknowledge the shortcomings, but also to recommit to action. The month is a call to renew our social compact with the people to ensure that every public representative and public servant sees service delivery not as a job, but as a sacred duty to our communities. In those few words, Your Excellency, I welcome you and all our ministers, deputy ministers, and MECs, and our executive mayors in your engagement with the key stakeholders in leadership in the province of Northwest. You are all welcome, colleagues, to this engagement with the interest of taking the people of this province forward. Having said that, I want to therefore request the Honorable Premier to do the welcoming remarks at this moment. Honorable Premier.
No, thank you very much, Minister Hlabisa, His Excellency President Cyril Ramaphosa, ministers and deputy ministers present here today, members of the Northwest Executive Council, the Provincial Chairperson of South African Local Government Association, executive mayors present here today, the Northwest House of Traditional and Khoisan Leaders, executive and senior government officials, both from the province and national, members of the media, Bagaitsu Dumelang. His Excellency President Cyril Ramaphosa, we happily welcome you and members of the cabinet to the Northwest Province under better circumstances compared to your visit to the province in 2018. The Northwest Provincial Government you will interact and hear about in our report is different from the state of paralysis and disunity of 2018. We are an administration hard at work, aligned with the mandate of the 7th administration to implement the 3 strategic priorities of the Government of National Unity as contained in the Medium-Term Development Plan. The innovation of a medium-term development plan serves as a constant strategic reminder to us as leaders and public sector managers to change the lives of our people for the better. We further appreciate your thoughtful leadership approach to introduce this intergovernmental approach of provincial visits to break the walls of separation between national government and provinces. We will be open and candid with Cabinet and present the work of the 7th administration with the understanding of the responsibility to be held accountable, but also the constitutional duty on national government to assist and support us in areas we will outline in our report. Ka Setswana, President, we say, moeng ngaka usidila babubudi, baagi ba province ya rona ba letile ka tlhoafalo go utlwa gore kopano ya gompieno e tla thusa jang mo go imololeng bokete jwa botlhokatiro le lehuma bogolosegolo bomme. We have the largest expanded unemployment rate sitting at around 54%, largely affecting women and young people. The endowment of critical mineral resources exposes our province to both positive and negative implications of global economic activities like mining. The up and down swings of world markets, irregular regional migration, disparities in some levels, and unfortunately, regular episodes of job losses. His Excellency, as we meet here today, there are looming retrenchments by ferrochrome mines such as Glencore and Samanco, who have issued Section 128 into their smelters due to high electricity tariffs. A few weeks ago, President, I had a meeting with the CEO of Glencore, who indicated that if there is no intervention by national government in this regard, over 5,000 people will lose their jobs. These job losses will have a negative multiplier effect in the economy of our province, and in particular this district, affecting over 50,000 people. Needless to say, President, the impact will be extended to labor-sending provinces and areas in the province, like the Eastern Cape, and by extension, the SADC region. Therefore, President, drastic steps are needed to stem this negative trend. In mitigating these challenges, we intend to share with you and Cabinet opportunities that exist within the province across sectors such as agriculture, tourism, and energy. We believe there are opportunities to leverage into tangible projects for communities across the province. We have finalized and adopted the Provincial Growth and Development Strategy, which contains key economic interventions to ignite growth and unlock the potential of the Northwest economic and industrial capacity to create shared benefits of job creation. We have also established as a province an Economic and Investment Advisory Council that advises Premier and government on how to facilitate the development and implementation of economic policies to stimulate economic growth and job creation. The province can benefit, President, from cooperation and partnership with the Presidential Economic Advisory Council on identified strategic projects. We are in the process of hosting a provincial investment conference, which could be an opportunity to collaborate and convert into a presidential investment conference with special focus on the Northwest province. There could also be an opportunity, President, for a special presidential youth employment service program, specifically for the North province, to cushion young people against the high levels of unemployment in our province. Among the many intervention measures we have developed, particularly for the consideration of Cabinet, are the strategic development nodes and corridors anchored on the provincial road network system. We have the N4, N18, N12, which are routes and strategically positioned to unlock various economic opportunities in tourism, agriculture, and logistics. Some of the key development projects that are at various stages of implementation to spur economic growth along the Platinum Route, which is the N4, encapsulates the special economic zone in Moses Kotane local municipality. We will request the President to help unlock the challenges experienced in the approval and licensing of the SEZ to open up a latent local and foreign investment drive in the region. We are collaborating, President, with the Northwest University to construct the Engineering and Mining Faculties campus in Bojanala, campus for specialized veterinary studies in Ngagamudiri Mulema, as well as the Desmond Tutu Medical School, which already is under construction in Dr. KK Kaundu. We request the President to take special interest in this project in order to facilitate further release of funding for infrastructure. Furthermore, this project will require national support from higher education and training, mineral resources, and agriculture. Mr. President, tourism is important for our province and the country. We are reviving the Pilanesberg Airport to support travels into Sun City and the wider eco-tourism attractions in the Bojanala district and Moses Kotane municipality. To exploit the comparative advantage of the area in agricultural produce, we are planning to establish an agri-hub focusing on fresh farm produce and meat processing plant in the JB Marks. Through this initiative, the province seeks to derive maximum value from its primary agricultural products along the crop and livestock value chain before exporting to other provinces. And as part of the crop massification program, the Department of Agriculture and Rural Development is currently refurbishing the Springbok plant silos where the agri-hub facility will be operationalized, amongst others, to store and trade on grain products. We acknowledge that many of our municipalities, President, are confronted with political and administrative challenges which negatively impact and affect provision of services. This stems from historic and systemic challenges such as spatial planning, revenue collection, and financial management. We welcome and support the cabinet decision to put Itsobotla local municipality under national administration. We believe that this decision will send a strong message to other municipalities to bolster their work to provide services and follow the rule of law. And our intervention in Ramotsiri has yielded desired result following a week of administration, and we have been able to restore order. As part of our turnaround strategy, we have deployed provincial executive representatives and financial recovery teams to provide support to municipalities. And we have recently launched our fifth phase of the accelerated service called Tunzale Role in the province to assist our municipalities to address various service delivery challenges afflicting their administrative and their developmental trajectory. His Excellency, the provincial government recognized the critical role that the traditional leadership plays in the development of our province. And to this effect, we will outline the support and programs of the provincial government to the traditional leadership structures across the province. I thank you.
Welcoming remarks. Colleagues, we are now going to move to a stage where His Excellency, the President, will make the opening remarks to set the tone of the discussion. Your Excellency, the floor is yours, Honorable President.
Thank you, Minister Sabisa, who is our host in the form of leading the whole process of national government interfacing with our provinces. The Premier of Northwest, Mr. Lazarus Mokhosi, ministers, and we have a good collection of ministers and deputy ministers here present, executive mayors and members of our local municipal councils, the traditional leaders in our province here in Northwest, the leadership of SALGA, officials of our government at national and provincial level, ladies and gentlemen, and of course, members of the media who, as the minister said, do such a wonderful job in propagating the good work that is being done in the province as well as at national level. I saw them earlier this morning, and they were quite effusive in outlining some of not only the challenges, but also some of the good work that's being done. So once again, please join me in applauding the media for the wonderful work they're doing. Now, as the National Executive, we are pleased to be here in the Northwest. This is our 7th formal engagement with our provincial executive here, well, countrywide rather. We have previously met with provincial executive councils of the Limpopo province, Mpumalanga, KwaZulu-Natal, Gauteng, Eastern Cape, and most recently, the Northern Cape. We hope to have met with the leadership of the remaining 2 provinces, the Free State and the Western Cape, by the end of this financial year. We started this program of going around the country to meet our provinces to enhance what the Constitution requires us to do in ensuring that we broaden and deepen cooperative governance. As the Government of National Unity, we see this as an important part of building a capable, ethical, and developmental state. One of the driving forces behind the district development model that we established and embarked upon in 2019 was to ultimately do away with the challenges that we face. The first of these is the challenge of working in silos, which has contributed to a disjointed approach by national, provincial, and local spheres of government. The second, on previous occasions, parachuted development. Here I'm referring to the approach of initiating scoping and budgeting for projects and programs without proper project preparation and consultation with the relevant stakeholders, and most importantly, with affected communities. The third challenge has been how projects are funded in the wake of the fiscal challenges our country is going through. The district development model was initiated to enhance deep cooperation amongst all stakeholders. And in addressing the challenge of funding projects, we need to identify innovative ways of funding the various projects that are so sorely needed across our country. This can be done through more effective cooperation amongst all stakeholders. And these challenges have contributed to projects not being initiated nor implemented, and when they are implemented, being dogged by huge cost overruns, projects being discontinued, and communities losing interest in development that does not materialize, particularly when it comes to service delivery. And we are seeing right now a spate of protests in a number of areas in our country, communities who are protesting about the lack of service delivery, particularly in relation to water and in a number of areas, just basic services that should be delivered to them. These challenges have contributed to a trust deficit between government and communities. And these challenges have been holding back our progress as a country. And today's engagement is designed to narrow and ultimately close these gaps and to find solutions to these challenges. This engagement is meant also to help us to work together more efficiently, as Minister Tlhabisa was saying, and as the Premier was also saying, to resolve challenges together and to plan much smarter than what we have done in the past. And we do hope that this engagement will come up with innovative ideas and lead to tangible action to address the problems and the challenges that we are facing. We cannot ignore the realities of the seismic economic shifts in the world's economy, but these shifts, much as they present challenges, they also present us with opportunities to grasp those positive enablers that we can utilize to solve the problems that we have. You have informed us of the many projects that you wish to embark upon, Premier, and they relate to, yes, the special economic zone that you want to have licensing and permission to embark upon. And you've also identified the issue of how the critical minerals that your province is so well endowed with can be utilized to the advantage of our people here. You've also referred to how we can utilize agriculture to enhance food security, but also to utilize it as an enabler for production uptick, which will result in us being able to produce. Municipalities have repeatedly been placed under administration, also in this province. The Ditsobotla local municipality being the most recent of these. And I should say that before coming into this meeting, Minister Tlhabisa was briefing me about the recent meeting that you held with the Ditsobotla Local Council, that whilst you had hoped that you would have great opposition to the decision we have taken to put it under administration, and that you thought that there would be enormous arguments which could last for 6 hours. Minister reports that the spirit in which the meeting was held was so positive, so cooperative, that the meeting that you both thought would last for 6 hours only took less than 2 hours. And you emerged out of that meeting that this time round, the Ditsobotla Local Council has now realized that the problem and are actually having a negative impact on our people. And they resolved that to arrest the current situation and turn that municipality as well as other municipalities around, so that our municipalities once again deliver consistent services and end up enjoying the respect of our communities. We were all elected to serve the interests of our people, our own personal interests. Failure to deliver services is an infringement of the basic rights of residents and our citizens more broadly. Let me address the issue of running water as an example. No one should go more than a day without running water, while there is a deafening silence from the municipal offices about when water will be restored. We must remind ourselves of the National Treasury's 2024 Provincial Socio-Economic Review, which points to an increase in the percentage of people living in poverty. It also points to a drop in the number of households that have access to basic services like water, to recognize that fiscal constraints are holding back a number of projects and programs, particularly at municipal level. But nothing can excuse poor governance, maladministration, financial mismanagement, wastage, and corruption. If a municipality is put under administration, we need to know what the elected representatives and municipal officials are doing to earn their salaries. And we need to ask ourselves whether the salaries that they are paid are value for money. And we need to ask ourselves whether they are doing their work. It is important that we should be responsive to the cries of our communities in this regard. The impact of tariffs and other developments of the country's economy mean that we must intensify our efforts to deliver on the Government of National Unity's 3 strategic priorities. These priorities are to drive inclusive, tackle the high cost of living. And the high cost of living is one of the things that are bearing a heavy burden on our people. And municipalities can play an important role in ensuring that the money that is allocated to pay for these services for indigent households is properly allocated for that. Quite often we find that that money is diverted to other expenditure items, such as paying salaries, when it should actually be helping to reduce the cost of living to our people, because the money is allocated by Treasury and is passed on to our municipalities. It is therefore imperative that municipalities must increase with great speed and focus indigent register to ensuring that our people model to enable more efficient regulatory approval and investment activation. And with regard to infrastructure development, we will need to find ways to support projects in the 4 corridors and elsewhere. Development in this platinum province, a province that is pregnant with great opportunities. And in this effort, we should be saying no person, no community, and no industry, and your leadership with the Provincial Council, you have enabled stability to be established. We now need to use that as a great platform to move a stage up and make sure that indeed better delivery of services to our people is achieved. So thank you very much. It's wonderful to be here with you, and I'm looking forward to serious discussions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for setting the tone for the engagement. Thank you very much. Colleagues from the media, the Presidency's